Hey YouTube, it's Leah Lord, your favorite mega church cult survivor. I do want to say it's 9 a.m. in the morning. I do look a mess. I'm on TikTok as well. I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. And I just want to say I'm talking about these new born againers that are outside doing up this street preaching. It's just given hyper religiosity and radicalization. So it got me thinking, and I wanted to start talking about why. Why is it that these you know what pastors from that diaspora, that country, why they're coming over to the UK in droves and basically infiltrating the space with this false doctrine. I do want to say that I am going to be breaking down the IT supremacy because a lot of them are just copy and pasting the YT televangelists from America. So the Kenneth Copelands, the Benny Hinns, etc., because they all want to be like the IT supremacist mob, yeah, because that's what they worship in the mega church cult. Unfortunately, they do worship that. Just a quick disclaimer. I want to let everybody know I do identify as a Black African woman. I have, my family is like the United Color of Benetton. I see race, human race. I don't see color. But in this case, it's not a Black church problem, but we do have a problem in the Black church. So it does need to be spoken about. It is something that, oh, okay. All right. Oh gosh, another Caris survivor's reached out to me. Yeah. On Instagram. Just to let you lot know that Caris is a church cult, FYI. I'm going to go live on Instagram. Hey, Instagram, welcome. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on TikTok right now. And I'm talking about the love bombing, born again experience. What you'll notice when people first become born again, come to Christ, whatever, they start to get really hyper religious. It's like an adrenaline rush. And then they're out on the street. They go telling people about Christ. But then when that starts to wear off, it's like a new relationship. When that starts to wear off, then they start to get low. They start to get depressed. That's when you'll start to see that they might start to church cult hop because they're looking for that hit. It's like when you take that first draw of the you know what, yeah. It's like that high that you had. You're never going to get that like that again. So it's that high that they're trying to find, that spiritual high where they just keep going. Oh, Jehovah Witness, I will be exposing you majorly. Your exposure is going to be the worst because my niece has got sickle cell. So if my sister was a JW, she wouldn't be given her life saving treatment, yeah, for those blood transfusions. So I will be coming for JW in a different way. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be on TikTok mainly because I'm going to be using actually, do you know what? I don't need to put that up behind. Do you know why? Because I've got it on my phone. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Let's look at why do these pastors from this diaspora come here and set up these Black churches, all right? Why do they come to deprived neighborhoods? Why do they set them up there? What is it all about? Let's get into it. If you haven't checked out my video on YT supremacy in the church cults part 1 and part 2, please go and check it out. It's on YouTube because this will go nicely into this that we're talking about now. Mods, are you on deck? Can you like up the live? Can you give Dazzy a warm welcome for us, please? Lucia, give Dazzy a JW welcome for us. Thank you, Queen Ines. All right. Oh, I didn't save the first bit. All right, so let's look at some of the reasons why these pastors are immigrating over here and starting up these church cults. And I was thinking about immigration today, you know, because of Brexit and things like that. I think it's made it harder for them to actually get into the country and just start up these church cults. But I don't know if there's a special visa that they can get when they're like a morgue or setting up a religious institution. So I need to check it, because if there is something like that, you see what I mean, guys? These are the kind of clauses, like, because I have a higher level of knowledge, so I'm not trying to change up laws around SA or whatever, because they're just going to be doing up the same thing. But if we make it difficult for them to set them up here and to actually make money, if we make it less lucrative for these greedy thieves, then they won't be coming in droves to start the church, because that's all it's about. That's the nooks and crooks of it. What it's about is it's about money, power, ego, and control. That's all it's about, yeah? So let's look at why these pastors are coming here. The first one is post-colonial spiritual power dynamics, okay? So many of these pastors are operating from a post-colonial context where Christianity, especially Pentecostal or charismatic Christianity, because this is where we get a lot of them, the infiltration, yeah, was already used as a tool of control during colonial rule in Africa. So you know, I spoke about in my first part of the video, you know, I spoke about the letter of King Leopold, that he said, you can't hear. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to. They can't hear on Instagram. Sorry, guys. Let me just switch off the phone. So he sent the reverends, the ministers. I'm so tired, but I'm determined to come on and do this, to take over the Congo. And he said to BEAT the spirit out of them. They taxed them to go to church. So you can see that it's the same cult tactics that were used. And that's what they're talking about here, the post-colonial spiritual power. And then what we're seeing now is the re-exportation of that system. So these type of pastors from that country replicate colonial era religious control. So they replicate colonial era religious control, believing they're continuing God's mission. So it's through the colonialization, it's through the IT supremacy. That's why I say it's really important to deconstruct Christianity, especially through the context of slavery, colonization, especially if you're like me. Even if you're not, it's still important to do that, because we are one race, and it's integral that we understand where the roots. I'm not talking about Jesus Christ. I'm not talking about when Jesus Christ walked the earth. I'm not talking about Jesus as the individual. That's separate, because Jesus doesn't even know he's a Christian. You know them ones. Jesus Christ does not know he's a Christian. The canon Bible, everything they do up. Jesus Christ is as shocked as you are, as I am, after you deconstruct here. And when you deconstruct, because guys, for lack of knowledge our people perish, and it talks about knocking, for Christ to open the door. Seek and you shall find. Do you understand what I'm saying to y'all? So again, there's no seeking for themselves. They're just getting like spoon fed from the pastor. There's no revelation. They're not going within. They're not reading the scriptures for themselves. It's just regurgitate. And then because they do up mystical manipulation, this is why it's dangerous, because people come in, they don't know nothing. Is Jesse part of one of these church cults? I couldn't see any trace of Karis on his page. I don't know where Jesse goes. As I said, with the street preachers, they are like vagabonds. They want to be free. They want to be out doing what they want. They don't want to be told from no one. So some of them might go to church cults where they got a hyper religious, like prophetic, and out going into the streets. They've got that ministry. It's within there. Like the spiritual father might have started as an evangelist, like a street preacher. And so there's a strong arm. There's a strong, evangelical arm in the ministry and going out into the street and whatever. But most of these street preachers, they don't like to be told what to do. They're absolute rebels. A lot of them come from past of like being in and out of prison. They're criminals, so they get the same adrenaline rush from ABUSM people on the street, the kind of, almost like that, not knowing what's going to happen, the adrenaline of it when people cut. Jesse only starts to act calm, cool and collective when a 6 foot something black male is standing in front of him. Then he knows how to be quiet. Then he knows how to stop shouting over people. Then he knows how, or when he doesn't have a lot of people to back him. Do you understand what I'm saying? That correlates with the behavior. You're right. Yeah, of course, babe. Babe, I'm a gang specialist. I'm a survivor of CCE, so I was only dating GMs, not the fake ones that are in the church cult, the real ones that are either. I have to go to the cemetery to go and visit them because my boyfriend was unalived in police custody. So most of the guys that I dated, I have to go to the cemetery with a bottle of Henny. Yeah, if I'm going to say hello, Jer. Yeah, that's what I have to do up. All right. So a lot of them come in here and they do. I don't even know what I was talking about because I've completely disassociated, but you get my point. I'm going to move on to the second point. So these pastors from that country replicate colonial era religious control, believing they are continuing God's mission. So the colonial era through religious control. So because that was what was brought to those diasporas in Africa, however many years ago, because of slavery, they are still reinforcing the same doctrine, because it was the same manipulative doctrine that they used to take over a whole people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is why they're so focused on kingdom, territory, dominion, taking over. It comes from the colonial master. That is colonialism. That's what it is. That's what it is. Taking over territory, taking over. So that understanding is seared. It's not the real teachings of Christ. It's been manipulated. It's mystical manipulation. Do you understand what I'm saying? And because they're so ignorant, but Dag knows though. Dag knows. They bring authoritarian patriarchal, fear-based theology that aligns with whitey evangelical fundamentalism, even though it's dressed in African garments. Woo! Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Does somebody want to give ChatGPT an offering? Does anybody want to give ChatGPT an offering? Right. Can someone go onto Instagram and check that you can hear me, please? Hey, Instant's Leah Lordy, your favorite mega church cult survivor. Can you hear me now? Hey, Sahara, I'm live on TikTok and I'm live on Instagram. Lucia, are you able to, or Ines, just check for me if you can hear me on Instagram, please. And just quickly, Instagram, I'm going to give you a little recap. I've been talking about the radicalization of these new born again Christians that are coming out, and they're really hyper religious. They're really radicalized in their approach. I call it the love bombing born again experience. I've been talking about why so many of these pastors from that diaspora in that country, beginning with A and ending in A, like myself, are coming to the UK and infiltrating this country, go into deprived neighborhoods with severely vulnerable young people and children, and they are indoctrinating them. All right, thank you, Ines. Love you, girl. Thank you, Lucia. Yeah, girl, subscribe to the YouTube, girl, because now I'm able to put up the TikTok lives on YouTube. This one I won't, because it's on here. But go and check it, girl, because I've got a very good discourse around white supremacy in the church cult, and it's very, very interesting. So for those of you that are interested around race discourse, please go on there and check. So just to give you an overview, I've been talking about post-colonial spiritual power dynamics. That's why they come here. They replicate the colonial era, the religious control, believing they're continuing God's mission. So where we're up to right now is this territory kingdom building, taking over, saving souls, the control. That is very colonialist in nature. Then we have that they bring authoritarian, patriarchal, fear-based theology that aligns with whitey evangelical fundamentalism, even though it's dressed in African garments. So the delivery is quite Africanized, but the intent, the motive, the reasoning, the rationale, the context, the rhetoric, the belief, the ideologies is this whitey evangelical fundamentalist. That's why with a lot of these type of church cults like myself, yeah, they try so hard to be anything but their blackness. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then they want the congregation to follow in that vein. They want us to become middle class, whitey, fundamentalist, conservative people, paying taxes, voting, being, to the law, because that's what the canon Bible and the structure of the church system as that social construct that they created through this so-called religious institution was for us to be law-abiding civil citizens, paying our taxes, keeping us controlling us even when they're not there to enforce the law. So they get into your mind. That's all it's about. That's what the slave masters wanted to do. So even when the slaves had an opportunity to escape, they wouldn't, because they're so codependent that it was a fear-based programming that they used. Biologically, the black males were too strong. They wouldn't have been able to take over biologically. So they had to get into their minds and infiltrate the minds and imprison the mind. And that's exactly what they did, okay? And it's the same thing they've done to us through religion. That's why it's like someone is offline. The lights are on, but no one's home. They're not preaching, they're not saving you, they're indoctrinating you. And I want to say to people who come from more liberal backgrounds, like my kids, I'm very liberal. I'm like a hippie mom, but I'm strict though as well. But again, if I didn't know God and have this experience, my kids would have been, really susceptible to these types of spaces. Do you understand? So it's really important that if you didn't have that disciplinarian thing, you might have had a mum or a dad that were really kind of liberal, etc. These spaces are going to be like, oh yes, this is what I needed. And then they'll be coming in and preaching and calling your mum a 304 from the pulpit. Because anytime they talk about unmarried women, if your mum's unmarried, it's your mum they're talking about. That's how much human fecal matter is. And that's how brainwashed we are, that we would sit in a great apologist environment where they're talking about our mother, because our mother's not married. So does that make your mother a Jezebel and a harlot? So do you see it gets into their subconscious, into their psyche? Now they start to think they're greater than their mum and they're better than their mum. Like deep down inside, they do think that, because they're all cleaned up now. They're not. They've left their man that they were sleeping with, but their mum's been. So the stepdad that's been putting food in their mouth and paying for toilet paper to wash their derriere. Now all of a sudden they go to the church for 6 months, and he's a sinner, and he's dishonoring their mum. So this type of rhetoric is very dangerous. All right, guys, let's get into it. This is going to be a heavy one. Why in the UK? Why do they come to the UK? Because the UK, as a former colonizer, still holds spiritual and economic appeal. Preaching here can be seen as a spiritual conquest or fulfillment of prophecy. So you see the way, let me put up that other picture. You see the way that they promote the whitey face, and I've been talking about this a lot in the part one. So you and if you're watching YouTube, please subscribe. So behind me, what I have, I won't keep this picture up for too long because it's hard to see the comments, but what you have behind me is it's a picture of Caris, and it's just all the YT members, and that is what they did. They got all the YT members whilst all of the rest of black members were standing and watching them to take this photo. So again, this is why they promote the YT face. What you'll find with church cults like Caris, First Love, I think even RPF, these churches where it's predominantly a black demographic. Gosh, I swear I feel so sick. You'll see in their promo that it will just be like, you know, out of the 500 of the members, you'll see like, you know, the one whitey face that they'll get to like, you know, promote their services. And again, that's deceptive, because you know what that is? That's a disproportionate lens on the demographic of the church cult. Disproportionate. So it's not the right statistics. They're making us believe that there's more whiteys in the cult than there are. Hey Faith. So for example, when you see you know, them talk about gangs on the news, and it's all, you know, like young black guys from South London, from inner city London, why aren't we talking about the hooligans that are fighting every time there's a match? They're my brother was an ex-hooligan. Those are the real gangs, yeah. That's the real problem that we have, chair. So again, that's a disproportionate view. It's a disproportionate lens of, you know, the picture of gangs in the UK. And it's the same with these pictures that they take. That would be a disproportionate view of the demographic in the church cult. And so it's deceptive, and it's just straight up lies. So I'm going to say again that the reason why church cults like Caris and First Love, etc., do up the whitey face is because they come to the UK and do it up here, because the UK, as a former colonizer, still holds spiritual and economic appeal. Preaching here can be seen as a spiritual conquest or fulfillment of prophecy. When the TB Joshua victims spoke out, they spoke candidly about the whitey face. That's where I was able to draw the lines of comparison. Like, oh my God, they do that in my cult. And for me, it was a crazy realization, because that is like heavy stuff. Like the TB Joshua stuff it was like a ring. Thanks for the follow, my love, Unclouded Rebel. Well, if you're a rebel, then you're going to fit in nicely here. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So why are these pastors coming to the UK and infiltrating it? They're targeting vulnerable black communities. So again, this isn't a black church problem, but we have a problem in the black church. So we need to talk about why they target the vulnerable black communities. So black communities in the UK, especially the poorer boroughs, e.g. South London, Birmingham, Manny, that's Manchester, are often economically marginalised, over policed and policed and under-resourced. Oh, okay, sorry. So they are often economically marginalized, over-policed and under-resourced. That's why, coming back to that, them street preachers, Jesse and Ollie, do you remember when I was talking about them going into Croydon and preaching in these deprived, gang-infiltrated communities with high crime rates, where there's already tension with the police, etc., that it's already over policed, you get it? So they know when they go to those boroughs and they start kicking off, that police are going to be there in 10 seconds, because I'm forgetting my gang terminologies, but we would have said like, it's like a red spot. I can't remember what we'd call it, but it's one of the red, like in the boroughs, when we're doing up mapping of gangs, the boroughs will be in red that are known, that are highly prolific boroughs to, you know, high level gang activity. So again, Croydon is one of those boroughs. How do I know? Because I'm an expert. My last job, I was working in Sadiq Khan's office as a program manager, managing millions of pounds of funding across 7 London boroughs that are highly affected with gang and youth violence. All right. Hey, Denny. Dennis is saying that these mega church mogs pattern themselves off YT evangelism because they want to market themselves, and put on that because it's more sellable. Because remember, we spoke about, you know, like the marketing and doing up the YT supremacy, and because this is like the majority within Christendom, they all want to market because they want to sell records like Maverick, They want to appeal to the majority, because it's all about numbers and money and growing, and it validates them, as we see. All right. So all of this toxic mix of them being in these deprived neighborhoods, these black communities that are economically marginalized, over policed, and under resources, it creates spiritual hunger and emotional desperation. So a lot of these people are in fight or flight mode, they're in survival mode, they're looking for a way out. A lot of these guys um are, they're not gangsters. A lot of them are young because they can't recruit a real gangbanger, a real gangster, a real GM, a real gang leader. So they recruit the youngers, the foot soldiers, the ones that are trying to prove themselves, the ones we say that they're that it's CCE, child criminal exploitation, because if a child at 13 or 14 is going cunch and got a whole load of food on him, that's not, he's been coerced by someone, he's a child, does he have the mental capacity to make those decisions, etc. So these policies and these laws and legislations, we've moved more into restorative justice. Yeah. So looking at how these long sentences are going to affect these young people, when we need to look at childhood trauma, we need to look at, their brain functioning. Are they even, do they are they even do they even have a mind where they can make decisions on their own for themselves, etc. All right, so that's why a lot of the laws, etc., have changed. So you were never a gangbanger, not a day in your life, maybe you were a victim of CCE. All right. So again, they've got this desperation being in the hood. They just want to art. That, guys, is so sad when you see some of the people in there. They're so vulnerable and they just take advantage of it. Distrust of Western institutions, but openness to God's power. So what they don't realize is that these pastors are worse than the popo, because they're sellouts and they're EVIR. This is so deep. I went from the fire into the pan. I thought I was coming to get saved, like I was coming off the roads, like I want to change my life. Do you not realize that when I stepped foot in that church cult, I was 18, 10, and 19? My boyfriend had just been unalived in police custody, and I've never been a 304. So this was the love of my life. I was completely faithful, riding out for this guy. I'm like the female version of him. Like when you see me go into it, like that is Jason love. That's Biggs. Like I carry on this legacy. Like sometimes I look back on some of my videos and I'm like, that's him. Like his memory lives on in me. And that's why when they're trying to promote, like, the gangs, and they're going into these deprived neighborhoods, thanks, babe, it really hurts my heart, because there's so many of these young vulnerable guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't have a son, guys. I don't have a king. Thank you, kitten. I don't have a king. So when I see these young black boys, and I think, upon reflection, because I've got the picture of Steps up on there, as you know, Steps, a lot of girls have come forward saying that there's allegations of rape and SA, and I've been covering it because obviously, I've been talking about Steps and the radicalization in Parish Church Goal. And I think with the content, I weren't really like coming at him, because at first I thought he was younger. I thought he was about 19 or 20. Secondly, I've got a bit of like some issues here, because my boyfriend was unalived in police custody. I also don't like to perpetuate and exasperate negative role models of like young black males. I don't like to pathologize them. I think what I'm realizing is that I need to heal from my boyfriend's unalivement. And actually, Lucy, I might, if you want her, Lucy, I think in a couple of weeks, I might, if you're free, you could come to the cemetery with me, because I think I just need to do that. I need to kind of start to heal from this now, because I'm seeing it resurface in other things when I'm doing content. It's very triggering for me. Oh, Lainey, thank you so much. You're on the path to healing. Amen. And guys, I'm just trying my best. Thank you, Lucia. Thank you, girl. Oh, Faith. Oh, I love Faith so much. Faith, I really hope you'll come to the next Survivor link up. Please come, my love. I would really love to meet you. All right, let me just take a little sec out to just like the trauma when you leave these places is so crazy. Because I've never loved anyone like how I've loved Jason, and I think I've just put it at the back of my mind. Guys, even when I got married, I was still in love with Jason. Do you understand how crazy this is? When I was walking down the aisle, I was still in love with Jason. I didn't, because it's all fake. There's no real, like, they don't deal with healing. Oh, I'm so sorry. He will pay. Thank you, Lero. Like, they just don't get it. Like, I'm not a social media influencer. Like, I'm not on here trying to get fame, bruv. Like, I'm not on here. I don't like look great now, but when I do myself up, I'm a very beautiful woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be coming on and doing fame. Like, I don't need to do that art. Highlands braids. And I am absolutely, I'm just, Leroy, when I tell you, yeah, these people absolutely destroy my life. Like, I come on here every single day. I just never got to say goodbye. I never got to say goodbye. I never got to say, do you understand? I never got to say goodbye. Because it was like, he unalived in January and then I was in the cult like a couple of months later. So, guys, you might see snot. I don't know where my tissue's gone. Let me get a tissue, guys. Oh, thanks, Lucy. I really appreciate you. I never got to say goodbye. Yeah, kitten. You know what I've been thinking about doing is connecting with some of the people that like do marches and like even when he first unalive, because they've done a documentary on him in YouTube, and I was in the cult for like 18 years, so I used to go and like look online and try and see if I could find they were doing black activism and marches and trying to get him justice. And the way I am, I'm a real powerhouse. If I had put my energy into marching and creating awareness, I didn't have the job. Hi, Mom. I didn't have Mom. I didn't have the chance to really like process his unalivement, and I didn't have a chance to like do the marches and be part of that. And I just feel like I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to grieve. And I think that talking about the deprived neighborhood, the supremacy, and I think it's resurfacing a lot of things for me. I wonder if it's an emergency with my mom. Mom, is it an emergency? Should I call you now? Is it an emergency? Love you, Mum. Is it an emergency? Should I call you now? And I think what I'm going to do is probably just take a break in a minute, guys, and then I'm going to come back on. I knew I shouldn't have come on YouTube because I did think I'll just quickly do one on here. I'm a mega church cult survivor. Love you, Mum. I'll call you straight after. Thank you, Shakira. I'm a mega church cult survivor, and I spent 18 years in a mega church cult. How I got recruited into the church cult, this is my ex-cult leader, Dagyud Mills, is my boyfriend had been unalived in police custody. So I lost my mind. I wasn't there. And they just indoctrinated me. They just kept indoctrinating me. I left the church cult, not mega, but they did so much BS to me. Oh, babe, but it really resonates. Thanks, Benny. That really resonates, Lero. And you know what? I want to say, like, people think that the smaller churches are better, but they're not. They're actually worse, because I started off in a branch, because he's got thousands of branches all over the world. Thank you, Elizabeth. So I started off in a small branch of, when I got there, so many people left. There were only about 50 of us. With the pastor, managed to grow that church cult like to a couple hundred. It was growing. But then I got transferred to the main headquarters. So the smaller ones are worse because they've got more targets. They've got more, do you know what I mean? Like, they've got to prove themselves. A lot of the time, pastors are sent from the main branch to these to places to set up these branches, these church cults, so they feel like they have to prove themselves. So it's actually a lot more radical. It's a lot more hyper religious, and there's a lot more pressure in the smaller branches, because in the larger branches it's more about competition because there's too many people for the roles. But in the smaller branches, they need people, so there'll be a lot more pressure on you, and they'll throw you into ministry a lot more. So you might have got a higher level exposure. Yeah. Hey, J Dreads. Yeah, it's worse. The smaller churches are worse. So I do need to do some content on that because, all right, my love, have a great day, Lucia. Sorry, guys, I'm disassociating. Let me get through some of this because this is really important. Thanks for the follow, Benny. Benny, please follow my main account, Leah Lauder 7. If anyone's followed me, please follow my main account. This is just one of my backups. Sometimes I won't post on here for a week. Sometimes I won't go live on here for a week. So the main account, I don't go live from. So you will always get the content. You'll get the story. My story will be all of my videos from all my different accounts. So my main page, Leah Lauder 7, is our main collective hub where the collective go. They know when I'm going live, and that's where all of the main content, announcements, everything will be on my main page. Leah, can you speak about signs of indoctrination? Because I'm getting an on-off feeling about certain things I'm seeing. Ooh. All right, girl. Shakira, when I come back, I'll do this. Will go into indoctrination, but you want me to really break down what that looks like the journey of how they love bomb you into putting you into those structures in the church, and then going into. All right, I'll do a piece on that, Shakira. Shakira, can you send that to me in a message, baby, so that I can, because that's really detailed what you've put in there, so that I can use it to frame my content. Thank you for all the followings on my TikTok. I really appreciate, and YouTube and Instagram for you all being here and giving me a platform to speak my truth. Okay. So the emotional desperation is one of the reasons why they target vulnerable Black communities. And Jay Dreads, you should stay on for this one because I've got a bit on why they target Black young Black males. Distrust of Western institutions, but openness to God's power. So again, it's like they do a lot of us versus them. So they'll be like demonizing the world. So, you know, like someone like me who's come in, whose boyfriend's been unalived by the authority, by the police. That you're going to be able to get into my psyche easy because I already don't trust them. So instead of me going out and being like an absolute menace to society, I can just be that in the cult and have pride and be judgmental and be like, oh, they're going to hell. So do you see how I channeled that into other things? Because I was thinking the Lord is going to punish them, vengeance is mine. So I channeled my psychosis into religious psychosis and started to become like consumed by like reading these psalms all the time and sending stuff to the police. It was crazy, guys. I was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Morning, Abba. like religious. I was in a religious psychotic state, chair, and they were all thinking, oh, Leah's doing well in the ministry. These times I'm nuts. That's how they survive, of hyper religiosity, being in a religious psychotic state. It's not them. That's why they're surviving. Because what you've got to understand is when people come into the church cult, they're at such a crossroad, at such a turning point. It's either they delete themselves, they end up in a mental hospital, or they end up in a church cult. Those are their three options. That's their three options. You know what it's like? It's us against the world. Yeah. Do you know what it's like? It's like when you're in a gang, yeah. It's like there's three options. It's like you can end up unalived when you're part of the road life. Unalived, prison, 6 feet under, or on heavy food. Yeah, those four options. It's the same when you deal with trauma, when you've gone through like extreme trauma, like especially grief, bereavement, and trauma. You are at such a place where you either, because it gets you, it's like the grief, you can get uncomplicated grief and not move past those stages of grief, and then you're battling just to keep yourself alive. So it's a situation where your option is going to be either deleting yourself, going to a mental institution, or ending up in a church cult, because it's that same adrenaline rush, it's that same addiction, the same codependency and trauma bond that they'll form. So it takes them out of their reality. They're not, because remember, they have distorted reality and they want to run away from self. They don't want to be in this reality because their mum unalive, their dad unalive, so they got great, whatever happened. So they want to be in a different world. When people are going through trauma, they want to escape from themselves. They want to go to Timbuktu, they want to go and relocate, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to, like they're it's like that. So what the church cult does is it offers like an escapism. It offers an escapism, yeah. An easy access point for church cults to offer hope, belonging, and healing. That's what I just said. I didn't even read that point. So these cult-like churches offer deliverance from generational curses. So again, do you see how like we're very spooky, with our Black community, especially within the African diasporas? You lot believe in a lot of judge superstition. Again, like it's the fear-based programming, the paranoia. It's part of that control that they maintain over you. They've demonized, our ancient spiritual ancestral practices, where we've become feared from them. And then, when you believe in something, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you give that judge power because you believe, you internalize that that's going to work. You're afraid, you're scared. And these type of church cults give power to these things because they claim to be the almighty that can, deliver you. And one of the things that they do is, say like the family has like a lot of divorces, just a string of divorces in their family, they'll be like, the spirit of divorce, no man has ever stayed with you and your family, and so they need deliverance from generational curses. Then they talk about autism, mental health. This is a curse on your family. Every child that you have comes out autistic. Da, 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 da. And then, yeah, so deliverance from generation is very, very warped, guys. It's just a lack of common sense and just basic, understanding of very basic things in life. Distrust of Western institute. Oh, I've just said that. False empowerment through emotional hype and submission to authority. False empowerment, this thing is on point. I think it's the same for Black Caribbeans. It's similar, but with the Black Caribbeans, because we moved to the Caribbean and then we had to rebuild ourselves and our lives and create a whole new culture, a whole new language, everything. I think we're a little bit more, we're not as indoctrinated with the IT colonialism. I don't know. It's just within that diaspora, it's more heavy. Like you can see it with the women, like the women from there, they will stay with the men more. I'm not saying that Caribbean women won't, but we're like hot sauce. We're not we ain't got time for that. That's why we have baby daddies. We don't do up the marriage and all that and be staying with them and getting walked all over like a rug. We leave, babe. We're ready for the baby daddy anytime. We don't play that hot sauce. We don't play that, chair. Yeah. So what I would say is, I think that through the indoctrination, the colonialist, obedient submission, because remember, it's more embedded. It's more embedded because remember, they took over that whole diaspora share. Why do they idolize the pastor and then talk about how idolization is a sin? Oh, Shakira, you're so funny. Someone's asked, what do I see happening to steps um, with your 18 years of experience? Thank you, Ines, because I was reading it and it said with your 18 year. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's cheeky. Like it, like these little cheeky young people, like their mother, you know. So their mother hasn't taught them any respect. Like, no, that's why I'm here to teach them how, you know, it's respect by force. Yeah, mum, I didn't. They think I'm an idiot. I weren't raised by no fool. Do you get what I'm saying? Look at my mum there. Look. My mum's a wise woman, you know. Don't ever get it twisted. My mum's a wise woman, yeah. I wish I could be more like my mum with the calmness, because my mum will unalive you with calmness, yeah. But it's the yard blood, it's the yardie blood from my dad. I can't, you know. There's no escaping this, yeah. All right, so there's that false empowerment, and David Antry is. Do you see how that fits into the charismatic leadership? The charismatic leadership, because they're like motivational speakers. So it's this false motivational empowerment speaking that they do up chair. This book is gonna be hot like fire. Yeah, 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 yeah. Take you higher. Yeah, 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 yeah. You lot, when I put the pre-order, you lot better make sure you order chat, because I don't even know how many of these books I'm going to be able to do up chat. The budget is low. Ah, you've been going ham on steps. Yeah, dreads. I don't like a grapist and an essayer. Oh, thanks, mom. Oh, thanks, babe. You lot. All right. So community. So also another reason why they target vulnerable Black communities is because of community for the lonely, especially young Black men seeking purpose, family, or masculine validation. So here we come into the lack of role models, the lack of father figures, this, that, and the third. It's that sense of community, and I think that these pastors, being like the, you know, like a Black role model father figure, they talk a lot in honoring the man of God, touch not the Lord's anointed spiritual fathers, and so they're recruiting a lot of Black young males that haven't had that father figure and haven't had the father role model, and then like Karis, they're dressing in suits. It's like they've got that camaraderie. It's like it's patriotic. They feel part of this. They feel part of something. Then you bring in the transcendent belief system. We're winning the lost at any cost. We're going to save souls for Jesus. Then they do this big march. There's hundreds of them. Do you know how empowered they feel? The false empowerment. That's false empowerment. When they do these marches, they're up. They're going trauma bonding. Yeah, it's false empowerment. Do you remember I said that those marches, this Jesus campaign, whatever, it's more for the members than it is. They're not saving anyone. People are looking at them like they're nuts. They're walking down the street shouting and singing. They've got them yellow smoke things coming up. People are looking at them because it's a spectacle, but no one's actually, who's getting saved from this Jesus campaign? Even when these false preachers go out and they're doing up the born again, babe, like, I swear to God, I'm going to go out and do preaching. That's what I think my next one's going to be. I'm going to go out, pose as a fake evangelist, doing up what they're doing up, and I'm going to get people to give their lives. And it's going to be all fake, because I want to show them that what they're doing has absolutely no effect. Those people that they so-called became born again, what's happening after? You don't even know if those people are even going to step foot in a church again for the rest of their lives. But here you are acting like you've done your big one. That's why it's spiritual psychosis. Again, when my mum came to visit the church, a homeless man came up to give his life. His shoes were all battered. He was wearing sandals. His feet were crusty. He looked, you could tell he needed help. My mum said to me after, spiritualism, yeah, do it, girl. Do it. It's your freedom of right. Mystically, Miora said she go out and evangelize people into spiritualism. Do it, girl, because it's your right, yeah. My mom said, what are they going to do for that man? Because he doesn't look like he's eaten in days. His feet, he needs someone buy him proper shoes. I said, oh, mum, I got defensive. I said, there's no greater gift than him having the eternal gift of salvation. No. When I was hungry, did you feed me? Christ is talking about giving the shirt off your own back, because faith without works is unalived. Yeah, so it's this false empowerment that they feel, this camaraderie, this it's like this patriotism It's like we're patriotic for, you know, Karis, that's the patriot. You know, like how Nigerians are, how they all support each other. And it's very, because in some of the tribes and the cultures, it's very cultish. Like, it's hard to get in. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why for me, I know a lot of them are peed off because I was let into the Nigerian community in a certain way where I'm now exposing it up. But I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. That's the way God intended it, because it's like people don't want to speak out. Do you know what I mean? It's like they stick together, they brush things under the carpet, they won't talk about the stuff that's going on in there, and it needs to get exposed. Especially the way they prize these men, like it's an achievement, and the man will be in there putting hands on them, chair. So you see how they might judge my mum because my mum hasn't been married or whatever, but my mum didn't put me in an unsafe household where I was seeing a man put hands on my mum. I've never experienced DV. Psychologically, what might have that done for me? My mum never put me in an unsafe house where I was seeing a man put hands on my mum and my mum's got her head bust open and I didn't deal with that trauma. But there are children who go to these church cults every single Sunday, Monday to Sunday, they're in the church cult with mummy, but daddy is putting hands on mummy so much. They're going to have to, when they come out now, they're going to have to heal and unpack that trauma, as well as the religious psychosis and the RTS, the religious trauma syndrome from that as well, having to go and put a smile on your face after you just heard your mum screaming for her life in the house 3 hours before. You having a laugh. And then they want to come and talk about Jezebel and harlot and women that aren't married. So it beckoneth the question, is it safer or is it better for a child to be in a single parent home? Because listen, me, I don't let no man in my yard. My kids have known no man but their father. I don't let no man them around my youth chair. It doesn't happen. It's me and my kids in my yard. So how are you going to tell me that there's a child that's better off? And on Sunday, you'll see them in dressed up in their church best, their Sunday best. They'll be quoting scriptures, looking like the perfect child, but daddy's putting hands on mummy. But my kids are safe. There's no man in the yard. There's no ABUSE. There's nothing. They're thriving in this environment. Thriving. Remember when you was pregnant and moving house, none of them helped you. I was heavily pregnant. Not one person from the church cult came to help us. And we couldn't even afford, you know, like we couldn't afford moving vans. We just got married. Had we got married, mum? Yeah, because we moved a couple of times, not once. We just got married. We just we didn't have the money to do it, because they get people to marry young, especially from black deprived neighborhoods. So people are paying for their wedding from their university loan. They're scrimping and scraping to do up this wedding. They're taking out loans, this, that, and the third. They don't care. It's only when it benefits the cults. All right. Another point as to why these type of pastors are coming from diasporas from that country beginning with A, ending in A, and setting up these church cults, Haynes in the cup, is because of charismatic leadership and narcissism. So many of these pastors present themselves, oh my God, this is just what I was saying, present themselves as prophets, fathers in the Lord, anointed men of God. David Antry goes by God's servant, Dad goes by prophet, and daddy. They operate with zero accountability, creating personality cults, so taking on the pseudo personality of the cult leader, hands in the cut, soft life in the cut. Obedience to the man equals obedience to God. So this is why when I first came out, I had to deconstruct and deprogram a lot of the survivors, especially because majority of us come from Africa. So we've got these subservient ideologies, obedience, submission. So a lot of us, especially, my heart goes out to my African queens, like myself, because guys, I became African. Do you understand? I got taken. I was, you know, when you get married to a Nigerian, they marry you, the family, you are our daughter. I was moved all the way to Kent. I'm 2 hours away from my mum. I was embedded into the Nigerian community. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then I was in a Ghanaian Christian fundamentalist cult. So there is no one on this planet or this universe to infinity and beyond that's going to tell me I'm not an African woman. There's absolutely no way, because you lot took me and indoctrinated the hell out of me, Jaya, to have an African mindset, an African woman's mindset. So I don't care. It's only now I've started to reconnect with my Caribbean roots, and I can listen to the music, because they demonize everything around the Caribbean culture. And I already had underlying HATE and resentment against my dad, who is a yardie. He's my dad, like wagwan. He's loud. My dad is a yardie. He wears leopard print with lime green hat. He's a yardie. You see, like how when you think about the uncles from wherever, my dad is the stereotypical yardie man. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Yeah. They're active. Oh, Courtney Clark is you. Oh, let me screenshot that, chair. Let me screenshot that. as my evidence. Do you know what? Actually, guys, just leave her. Let her stay on here. Oh, she's been blocked. Courtney Clark, you're such a mess. You're such a mess. You're such a mess. And all my videos are staying up, FYI. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, thanks, Faith. Look, oh my God. Faith, if you don't come to the next Survivor link up, you and me are going to fall out. I'm African, but it took me so long to decolonize. But Courtney Clark wouldn't know nothing about what I'm talking about because she's not an African queen and she doesn't class herself as an African queen. She's mixed race, yeah. She doesn't class herself as an African queen. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I class myself as an African. Girl like Courtney, they like to be ambiguous. Anyway, let's get into it. I don't want to digress too far off the topic, chair, because that queen that you see in there, Deborah Lauder, she taught me how to be secure in my blackness, baby. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, there's no gal that can come and have any chat for me. And I hope you saw that with the example of Courtney Clark. I hope you saw that. So any Christian influencer that wants to come out and have some chat, they just better get ready for the repercussions. I retract my statement. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, girl. That's what I thought. You gotta retract that statement because the Lord is on my side. So now you look like an idiot in these streets, and I didn't have to do a thing. Yes, girl, that was her that came on my live, but I'm not gonna let it draw me out because I need to. She said, "Oh, you got a thing of an African mindset," so now I've got something on her. That's all I needed. I knew I was gonna draw her out. I just knew it. I knew I was gonna draw her out because I'm the draw out queen. That's what I do. Like I drew out David Antry for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? Where he publicly, he addressed me. So now nobody from Caris can't try a damn thing because I've got video evidence and footage of him abusing me from the pulpit and gaslighting his whole congregation to turn them against me and to do up abuse online. Hey, Queen Alita, if you go onto my account, Leah Lauder 707, my love, it's pinned on there, babe. It's pinned on there. He said I'm a useless girl that sits on TikTok all day talking about Daggy with Mills, and he also said that I can't even keep a marriage. How do they know that my ex-husband wasn't putting hands on me and that's why I had to leave him to create a safe environment for my kids? How does he know that I weren't getting unalivement threats from my husband? How does he know that I weren't getting severe psychological abuse? He don't know what's happened in that marriage. He ain't got a clue. So should I have been like Osinachi? How do you know that I wouldn't have been the next Osinachi getting unalived by my heart? You're too fast. So again, there's a women's rights issue in here as well because a lot of they're misogynistic. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's misogynistic in nature. And the gal them like Courtney, they internalize misogyny. Do you get it? Yeah? All these pastors that come from Africa, but they never preach about in their countries. Yeah, and the slavery. And back to what I was saying before that. Trashy girl, you're trashy, you classless, you washed up girl. You get me? Don't play with me, chill. Nasty, put some clothes on. I told you, don't walk out your house without your clothes on. I told you, you get me? All right. So as I was saying, like when you're in your blackness and you know that you're a black queen, what you'll understand when you've been in, like African circles, like myself, where you've been married and where you got married and was with a Nigerian man for 10 years, and half of your kids are half Nigerian. I can also get a Nigerian passport as well. My surname right now, because I might be divorced, but none of my Courtney. That's why I said to you, look, leave her, man. I wanted her to hear me. She's never been married. She was with her partner for Courtney. The difference between you and I, Queen, is you were married as a pick-me for 10 years with no ring. I was married for 10 years with a ring and 2 kids, and we all have the same last name, my love. Okay, that last name is a Nigerian last name. So as I was saying, I identify as a black African woman. She might need to do a black history lesson because we all come from, every black person comes from Africa. Every person comes from Africa, actually, in the car. So, it really is about educating yourself. It doesn't matter if you do law, babe. It's about educating yourself, having understanding, because for lack of knowledge, our people perish. And that is why we have seen the perishment of Courtney Clark. All right, let's get back onto it. So as an African woman, and I had the mindset because I was in a Ghanaian fundamentalist cult for 18 years. Hey, Coco. Yes, Lynn's braids, you're absolutely right. Pick me! So I had to deconstruct and deprogram from those Africanized mentality, like the subservience, the obedience, that, do you know what I mean? You was just cussing. Can you mind that? Okay. All right. Did you see, Bev, have you seen that comment above you to give them a warm welcome? We want everybody to feel loved and part of. Thank you, Mystically. Your voice is so powerful. Get in the booth. Thanks, babe. I am trying to like manifest in it, particularly in this season, Miora, for some open doors for my singing, because I do feel like I want to let off some of the steam and start to create some beautiful music. You know, like Cleo Soul. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. Like doing real healing, like soul music, and I want God to open a door for me where I can, you know, like a network or a divine appointment or something. Because I could also jump on like the funky house soulish tunes. That's where I think I could blow. And like more like, you know, like the neo soul kind of Cleo. But anyway, the 90s vibes coming back. People don't want this, you know, AI sounding music. You can see that the soulful music is coming back to everything in the right time. And I believe that God just sets me up. I could just sit pretty. Yeah, she stayed silent because she ain't on my level. She thought she was. She's delusional. Yeah, like that is delusional. She reminds me of this gal that I used to know, and the whole family are just criminals, organized crime. So the dad shots, the mum's a mess. She condones it. They keep holding food in the house. The daughter shots, the son. They're all just a mess. But when they go out, they act like their ish don't stink, like they're too nice, but just delusional. Like you're from the gutter. You think Courtney's giving them vibes. All right. Can't take this anymore. Someone to love me. I need someone to hold me. Are you all right? Chandelier, chandelier. What was that tune doing? Oh God! When I saw that she thought she was like an artist or singing, I was like, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. Remember, I told you like I don't get like I don't care because I'm so like I'm beautiful and I can sing as well. That's an extra sprinkle, sprinkle. Sorry, mid darts break took me out. I love you, Leah. I love you too, girl. I love you too, Queen. I don't care. How did I get here? I don't know. How did you get here? Oh, is it Joker? Look at you, little idiot. I did a special little thing for you, babe. You know, producer Jay, what I want to say to you, Joker, is you know, Dag, they were doing a piece on erectile dysfunction the other day where guys can't get it up in there, yeah? So I've just put a little sprinkle of intention over that ministry that people will find it hard to conceive, and the men, they won't be able to, man. So that's my little gift for you. I'm so glad that you showed up in this season as well. It's very powerful. Anything I say right now, it's just going to happen. It's going to manifest. So this is why I'm going to try and be on here a little bit more, especially tomorrow. So what I say is it will be more powerful. Everything I do is with intention. Everything I do, baby. She's not in Paris. Yeah, she's just a pick me, babe. That's why she was with a guy for 10 years with no ring and no commitment. It's pick me, babe. All right. Excite me as your woman. A kiss goodnight on the phone. Working late. Oh my God, no one can. Baby. How much you need it, 'cause you deserve it. As I said to you, any girl that wants to come and try and meet, like she thinks she's too nice or whatever, I just get on the mic in the rave. Remember I told you, and I start singing, and then all the men them is like, oh my God, Beyonce. They can't get enough of this. Oh my God! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my beautiful loving Queen Alita. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Queen Alita. I love you so much. I hope you have a great time. And girl, this is a very special day. Alita, make sure you do like some manifestation, girl. Your intent, everything. But Christ first, why didn't you say it though? You gal them, man, that don't say when it's your birthday. Why? All right. When I come up, because you know I'm coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm getting hot, guys. When I come up in a couple of weeks, we gonna celebrate. I'm gonna make it up to you. And Alita, she lives around the corner, so we're gonna talk. I'm gonna text her after, chair. Oh, I know. Why did I rebuke me, Christmas? Why didn't I remember? Oh, thanks, Suzanne. I appreciate you, girl. I was a worship leader in my cult, but they tried. Hi, Pre, you're all right, babe. They tried to like disown me and act like they didn't know me. Like I weren't a worship leader for 18 years in the church cult, singing my heart out. That one of the main praise and work. That's what I was known for. That was my fame, my voice, sounding like Yolanda Adams and CeCe Winans, Helen Baylor. They would have never given a girl like me would have been made nothing, because pretty girls, you got what? It's only because I had this voice that's giving Whitney Houston. That's the only reason that I meant to do anything. And there was a girl there. She turned around and she said to me, Leah, the only reason that you're anything is because of that voice. If you didn't have that voice, you'd be nothing. And I was just like, she's just hating because she never got the opportunities like me, like, you know, to sing for Bishop Richard, to stand on the stage and be singing and ministering. It's like they've got a scripture there that says, your gift maketh room for you. So the whole ideology is if you've got a gift, it will get you to be seated around, like, you know, great men of God. They're so stupid in there. I know someone who got 12 months of malicious communications. What you on about? One of the only creators that speaks the truth. Oh, thanks, babe. Thanks, babe. I'm starting to see the fruits of what I'm doing now, guys. It's been a long road, isn't it, y'all? Oh my God. It's been a long road. This social media thing, it ain't a joke, man. Like I've built this from the ground up. Do you get what I'm saying? Like from nothing, from the ground up, from zero. You get me? And then that's what I'm saying. You're not allowed. You don't, babes. Put some respect on my name, innit? That's all I'm gonna say. Like, put some respect on my name, because everything's yes, sir, yes, please. You know how to talk to your mogs. You know how to be all swimming all up in the intestine. So you know how to beg it. You lot are like the creme de la creme beggars. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you lot know what to do up. So when you come on here and you do up what you're doing up, we just know, like, it's just you lot being disrespectful. I'm gonna restart the live, guys. If you don't see me come straight back on the live, then that means that I'm going on a different page, because I've got to feel it. They've been very active. Thanks for the follow. I'm gonna restart it, guys. Give me 1 sec. I think I need to see if I've got any okay, it's all right. It's all right. But I just need to restart it, because you know what? I don't want to get no restrictions. I really need to keep these accounts clean so I can expose them up, man. I need to be exposing them up. That's what I'm on. You know, it's like this. It's this account. It's this level of like entitlement that they have in these church cults, and you see it. What is it with narcs and erectile dysfunction? Oh, Shakira, don't take me out, chair. But it's true, you know. Some narcs, they can't. Chair, Shakira, you just took me out. I need to do the erectile dysfunction video as well, because I've got the screenshot, and a survivor did cover it, because they got a little page where they exposing up their church culture. Guys, you see what I mean? Some lives I could be saying the most and it's fine. Other lives it's like one thing and it's like luck off. So I don't, with TikTok, you just have to I'm getting into the practice of knowing when to just turn it off, because I'd rather restart the live. Do you know what I'm saying? Then it get locked off. I hate when it gets locked off and it just cuts off, chair. Is that Tasia here, chair? All right, guys, let's continue. We've deviated a bit, but we need these times. I'm going to go through this stuff, and then I need to just, guys, I've been so tired. I've been able to clean the yard. I've been able to do nothing. Yeah. But I managed to do a load of washing, so that's good. This is what it's like living with chronic fatigue. I'm also disabled because of the cold. Hey, Nance, how's my queen? How are you, Nancy? I love Nancy. I love that girl so much. I really do love her. Are you all right, Nance? Nancy, did you see I put up the video when we did that survivor link up at Prince of Peckham, and I was so gone? Do you remember that night? Me and Nancy oh my gosh. Because I weren't driving that night because I had a flat tire. So me and Nancy was like, oh, Leah, we might as well buy a bottle, innit? After we'd had about 3 glasses, share. If you drink real chicory flowers are natural caffeine, are very good for you. Oh, you know a lot in it. Should I, guys, can you see the comment? Should I change this picture? Oh, was it 2 bottles we got? See, I can't even remember. Yeah. All right. So again, the charismatic leadership and the narcissism, it gives like this father figure. You know, a lot of the guys in there, the black the black young males, a lot of them don't have a father figure. They haven't had a mentorship, any type of mentorship. So these cults, it's appealing, it's attractive to them, especially the disciplinarianism in there as well, because these uncles are very like strict like uncle. And if they've never had that, it's like they're going to be seeing that as love, because they sell it as, you know, rebuke, the Lord chasteneth those whom he loves. And, you know, it's very much like that. So there's a lot of indoctrination around love being hate and hate being love. So that's why, that, you know, there's no love like Christian hate. It comes from that, because it really is that indoctrination where they're seeing right as wrong and wrong as right. So it's very warped. All right, questioning leadership equals rebellion. They isolate members from family or external relationships. They weaponize spiritual language, guilt, and fear of curses. So it's classic cult psychology that happens there, yeah, through the charismatic leadership and narcissism. Okay, so another reason why these pastors, these mogs from those diasporas, like us up, these pastors, why they're coming over and have been coming over in droves, is because of financial exploitation as sowing seeds. So it's the sowing seeds epidemic. So these churches demand tithes and offerings constantly, and this is coming from the colonialist rhetoric of them getting the Congo people when Belgium were colonizing the country, that they had to pay taxes as well. Wait, guys, what church denomination is Charis, or is it just its own thing? Yeah, they don't have a denomination, but it would be seen as Pentecostalism, charismatism. That's the umbrella that it would come down. But a lot of these, you know, they're just vagabonds. They don't even have a denomination. It's non-denominational, chair, but they are operating like Pentecostal, evangelical, YT fundamentalist, conservative church cult. Is that helpful, my love? So using manipulation like first fruits, prophetic seeds, and sacrificial giving. So the mystical manipulation is through the prophecy, because a lot of the time they'll preach on, like, so for example, Dag will get all of the church cults in the UK to preach on why tithing Christians are rich and why non-tithing Christians are poor, because they'll see a decrease in the tithes. So do you see that the message has been mystical manipulation, and then afterwards they're going to ask you for your seed faith offering or ask you for whatever. So they've groomed you in the message. So especially if you didn't pay your tithe last month, you're feeling guilty, you'll give the offering that they're asking for. So it's strategic, like they know what they're doing. Yeah, that's what mystical manipulation is. But the congregation think is spontaneous. It's not spontaneous. That's where the mystical manipulation comes into it. All right. Is everybody getting it? If you want me to expand on any other points, break it down a little bit more, please do let me know, guys, and I'm more than happy to do that. Yeah. So they encourage extreme giving, especially from the poor, with promises of wealth or healing. And that is another reason why they target deprived neighborhoods. Because neighborhoods, I'm not saying that everyone from the hood is uneducated. Look at me. I come from the hood and I'm a genius. So it's not about that, you know, but most people in the hood, guys, because of the trauma, all of the stuff that happens, there's been, I want to say, a miseducation, because there's also road education. There's a type of street smart, which I have, which no school can offer, no money can buy. And that is what you get as a result of being from the hood. You're lit, you're resilient. It's just, I feel like it's just a special grace that God gives us, man, because he knows that, but like, we're his people, Joe. I don't ever get it twisted, just a certain grace. That's why I'm going to check out, oh, it's because of us that you know God. No, babe, it's because of the hood. It's because of seeing people get unalived. It's because of seeing people get bored up in front of me. It's because of seeing my freaking boyfriend's unalived corpse at 19. That is how I know God. Not because of Dag Eward Mills. Yeah, and his little backdoor church cult. No, babe, let's not ever get it twisted. So they thrive in poor communities. So that's why they target them. That's why when you go to South London, there's one of these church cults on the end of every corner. The most prolific ones like RPF, Googly Gog, Dominion, Redeemed, Christ International, they're all in South London. If you walk from Elephant and Castle, because you've got the Latina church cults down there. If you walk from Elephant and Castle all the way to Deptford, to Lewisham, actually, scrap that. If you walk from Elephant and Castle all the way to Erith, to Erith, because we all know about the migration from South London into Kent. Because when the working professionals of that diaspora start to do what, they all start to come out to Kent. I know because I live down here anywhere. I've seen the migration over the 12 years that I've been living here. This is where the ballers come. This is the cunch of South London. This is the cunch of South London, chair. So I don't even need to go anywhere. Do you know? I mean, when I just go to my local, whatever, there's so many ballers down here, chair. I am loving it. Come back to England. Come back to London. Where? Nowhere. I'm happy here. Do you get me? From south to east in Stratford. Yeah. Are the mods on deck? Faith, do you see? Hi, Kyara. You sound like you're from the hood. A lot of people call their girls that. Was it a situation where it's your children raising children? Can you, Faith, have you finged her as well? Because don't just mute, my lovely. Or maybe it's a bit delayed. Can you fing her as well? Thank you, babe. All right. No, you need to block as well, my love. Thank you, babe. Thank you. Thank you, babe. All right, so they encourage extreme giving. I'm going to say this again, especially from the poor with promises of wealth or healing. And that's why, like, these Kenneth Copeland, Paula Whites, you know, like when you see the Whitey TV evangelists, like the Benny Hills, that's why they appeal to like the Black communities, because like they're poor, like the deprived communities. So it's like, you know, any like poorer people, they want to get rich quick schemes. Most of the people that play the lottery are people, you know, like the whitey working class, are people from deprived backgrounds. Thanks for the follow, Mag. Deprived backgrounds, because they want that quick, like people who don't have money. Like if someone gives them 20 grand, they'll see it as life-changing money. You give me 20 racks, that's nothing. That's going to be done quickly. 20 racks is nothing in this high cost of living. So do you see what I mean, guys? It's like I don't know how to put it, articulate into what I'm saying, but you get what I mean. Like their concept and their lens and their view of money and wealth, and it's through a lens of trauma. It's through a hood lens. Do you get it? So they're easier to manipulate, apart from the road guys, because that's why I'm saying they're street smart. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they will not be in these environments because they know a crook when they see them. The only time you'll see a guy who's like a road guy that's come from is when he's clocked it, what's going on, and he wants to make some money. So he will be like the pastor, the one that's set it up. Hey, girl. Yeah, man. It's mystically Miura. This is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? And God was just setting me up by doing my youth and community work degree. Thank you, Suzanne, for the follow, because that encompasses many social sciences. You study absolutely everything. And because I'm a first class student, I went into a lot of, like, you know, psychology, philosophy, criminology, loads of different like disciplines and areas. I even went into a bit of like the clinical side of things, like because I'm especially, and then what my social work masters allowed me to do was go to a higher level, and then I started to look at trauma, grief and bereavement and abuse from the lens of a biopsychosocial model. So do you see how God was training me, preparing me for this moment, for this role? Because it's not just about exposing pastors, because, you know, anyone can expose anyone online. It's not about that. It's about the cult psychoed. It's the psychology behind it. It's the fact that I deconstruct and I deprogram people. This isn't just about sitting on TikTok and talking human fecal matter. Do you know what I mean? So no matter how much they try to gaslight me, it's just they're the idiots. Do you know what I mean? Because this is high level. Like, this is professor stuff. Like, this is what you can learn in university. This is lecture level. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's helping people, because when you go to uni, you're there to learn. That they're programming you with a certain information. When you're programmed with that information, then you can go and apply for the job, because you've got the programming. They've programmed you. You understand how things work. You've got the programming database that's needed to carry out those tasks. All right. And similarly, that's how they program you. So they're not wrong in a way, because it is a spiritual fake institution. Like Dag used to say, it's a university. So I was in there for 18 years. So coupled with my 18 years of life experience, and also being taught in the false doctrine of the word, and Dag Ewan Mills, the reason why I think God sent me to this cult is because of the discipline. And Dag even does exams on his books. He's got a collection of books, so it's easier for me to expose. Also, the scriptures, the knowledge of the false mega church prosperity doctrine. I don't think anyone knows it better than myself. And then you couple that with the mega collective that we have. I've got OG survivors that were in there for 30 years, 20 plus years, that are on my side, fully on my team, helping to shape and frame the content. You know, I've got a survivor, an OG survivor, that's going to do a piece of a voiceover where she was there for 20 years and been raped by a high ranking pastor. That's coming soon when I start my Lighthouse Chapel experience, because I haven't even started with Michael. And you're going to hear more of the voices of the survivors real soon. So we've got a lot more to come up. You're going to be seeing me on a lot more podcasts, radio and stuff like that soon as well, guys. So get ready. I did do a podcast the other day, and I need to do a little, I didn't get much pictures of it though. I need to message the girl to ask her to send me the videos and pictures. But I did a podcast, it went really well. So that will be coming out soon. All right. So they thrive in poor communities because the desperation is deeper. Hope can be sold more easily. Back to what I was saying. The shame of poverty is used to justify the need for deliverance. People in the hood are knocking their neighbor and saying, "Oh, have you got some sugar I can borrow, babe? If you got a fiver, if you got a tenner, I can borrow until next week so I can put something on my gas and electric." Like, we all help each other in the hood, innit? It's desperation. Now let's get into the key topic that I wanted to talk about from the jump: the radicalization and the pathologization of the Black boys and men. Let's get into it. So I think I should just do a piece. Or actually, Leah, note to self, do a piece on this in your book. I think I've already noted. So this is going to be part of it. All right. So church cults are particularly dangerous for young males who are already marginalized by ACEs policing, education, exclusion, and joblessness. And guys, I'm not going to lie. When I did that piece of content with, I don't know what his name is, one of the angry preachers. There's one that's just like, he's worse than Jesse and Ollie. And the police were like arresting him, or there was a heavy police presence, and they were saying like, "Look, you can't do this, blah blah blah." And there was a survivor that messaged me and was like a bit defensive about it, and I'm so happy that he's open to what I'm talking about, because I was able to have that conversation with him and be like, "Babe, my boyfriend got unalived in police custody. If anyone's going to call out police brutality, it's going to be me, with a megaphone, a foghorn, like proper shouting and screaming it." So it wasn't about, even when you see the video, the police weren't trying to be rude to them. He was being really calm. All police are patronizing. That's just how they are. Do you know what I'm saying? But they were both, he was being like the popo too. They were both being like the popo chair. So it's like an eye for an eye. You're both being the same. And so my thing was, he wasn't being brutal to him. He wasn't putting hands on him. It was so unnecessary. The anger was putting his hands in his, all up in the popo's face. So again, that's going to exasperate already existing tensions that are there in deprived communities. Okay. So these Black males are a lot more susceptible to being radicalized by these church cults. Okay. Seeking belonging, strength, power, and father figures. As I said, a lot of them don't have role models. A lot of them don't have father figures. A lot of them, they haven't even, the first man that's supposed to show them and teach them how to be a man abandoned them at birth. Thank you, Suzanne. Is that Suzanne? My Suzanne from the cult? Is that my Susan from the cult? Do you understand? So there's a lack of mentorship, and then they feel like they can learn how to be a man now and discipline. They owe everything, their lives, to these cult leaders, and they made them who they are, a real man. And David does it a lot in his cult, like getting them to cut their hair and wear these suits and be like mini Davids, like they put on the pseudo personality of the cult, because Karis is a cult personality. As I've said to you, the girls look exactly like a middle-aged, auntie trying to look like she's doing something in London. That's ours aesthetic. Yeah. All right. Bold color block print clothes, A-line skirts, peplum tops with tight gold belts. It's just no. I don't like the aesthetic, or it's given, "Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away." They look like, "And to the right, if you go down, if there is an incident on the train, then you will have to go get your airbags out first. And there is the exit." It's given air stewardess. It's given air hostess. Do you know what I mean? It really is given uniform, Jay, to the point where I can compare them to an air stewardess. It's just radical. It's extreme. It's just so extreme, innit, Faith? Yeah. All right. Being pulled between street life or church life, both of which can involve control. I want to say coercive control, hierarchy, and performance. So if they've come from that street life, remember I told you majority of these kids are survivors of child criminal exploitation, or some of them are just rapists and essayers, like Steps and them, man. And that's why I said to you, remember when these guys come in and they start saying that they're bad, and because Steps didn't say he was in a gang or he was on the rep, because I've been exposing it. He said when he thought he was a bad man. Yeah, because a lot of them are coming correct now, thinking about what they're saying. But again, you see like man like Steps and Ims and what's the other one? JTA. Again, these are the type of mandem that would be part of a mandem and be part of a set. Now, within that set, there's going to be unalivers, there's going to be mandem that are ready to do money, the money makers, the F boys, and then you get the Preds, the essayers, the 304s, the players, the this, that. So with it, these are the ones that are venturing into the church cult. This is why we have such an epidemic of essay Pred, because it's them type of man that are ending up in the cult. It's not a gang leader. It's not a real GM. They don't do well with authoritarian control, policing, etc. So the guys that were victims of CC, they're the ones that are more susceptible to getting indoctrinated and groomed like they did in the ends. Do you understand? By men like David, by men like Dag, because they've never had that father figure. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that hierarchy, the coercive control, the performance, all of that, the territory, taking over territory, it's all similar to the exposure that they got whilst being, in the streets, on the roads. JTA literally knocked up his baby mum when we were still in sixth form. Oh my God, do you know the baby mum? Oh my. So JTA, do you know what? Mystically Miura, can you message me, babe? Because I want to do a deep dive on these individuals. So if anyone, okay, Faith, all right. Got ladies or men, if anyone knows about JTA, about Steps, about IMS, can you please message me? Because I want to do a deep dive on the essay and the Pred's behavior this week. And it would be good if I could have a little working group, because it's so hard for me. I get consumed by it. And if we could have a little working group, I'm not gonna lie, I had to have a little drink. Not like I'm addicted to the substance, but I'm not a drinker. So when I have to have a little bit of wine or whatever to just take the edge off, that's when I know, I find it so difficult to hear from the essay and grape survivors. It just crushes my soul. It literally crushes my soul. These mogs are too flash to give the shirts off their backs. They worship designer gear secretly more than God and themselves. And that's why when a girl comes to them and says that they've been essayed and raped, they'll brush it under the carpet, because the man is more valuable to them. They have a patriarchy and misogynistic setting. The man is an influencer. He brings in a lot of souls. Recruitment is the lifeblood of the cult. So they don't care. I have a blast messaging you because I've been deep diving. Ooh! Oh my God, Miura, this is the Lord, man. Oh my God, you're such a queen. And Faith as well. Faith is proper. She's one of us, yeah. Guys, you know what I'm thinking about doing? Raising some money for the collective by doing a charity boxing match. What do you think? Do you think that would be good? I wanted to see if Courtney Clark would be on it. What do you think? Raising some money for the survivors. What do you think? Because I've been wanting to train, do some boxing. Shakira said, like I previously said, Baal worship. Wolves in sheep's clothing. This is why I like the baddies, like Kiko and Faith and them gal there. This Kiko's like, definitely. But some of you gal them have to come and walk on with the number there. Who's going to do it? Are there some baddies that's going to come and walk on with the number? They are. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking about, man. That sounds good with the boxing. And it said she will, yes! Woo! Oh my God. I'll be mixed up. Of course, I'll raise the money. Yes, girl. I love it. I love it. It's such a shame that my brother's not outside out, man, because he would have loved to. He could have trained me and everything. Anyway, let's get into it, guys, because my brother's an MMA fighter. All right. This is a lot. So being pulled, okay, so there's that pull between the street life and the church life. That's what makes them more susceptible, because there's because gangs are high control groups, but they are coercing and grooming the young people to do illegal enterprise, whereas these church cults are grooming and coercing the young people to be slaves and to be doing up free labor by calling people. It's like a call center. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're in recruitment. Like You just keep like calling the people, you're on foot. I don't think anyone understands what it's like to be on outreach. We're out there for hours evangelizing, walking up and down. That's why people have back problems, foot because you're out every day. It's inordinate, it's exasperated. It's not like you go out once in a while, especially with these Jesus campaigns and these things that they're doing up. It's a time for them to go even harder than what they were going. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't know that you could go harder than what you've been going. But here you are. Guys, I'm going to try and put in the charger, but you know the setup. Nah, MMA ratings. Yeah, my brother's an MMA fighter. But I think he got into the MMA fighting because he was bullied as a child. I'm not going to lie, because that's why I had to become so bad. Because the man them in the ends thought they could bully my little brother. Do you know what I mean? And he could, like, back in the day, his dad was in Las Vegas. You know, he used to go to like America and come back with like these weird clothes and hairstyles and stuff. And they just used to try and go in on my brother. Oh my gosh. And I don't have an older brother in it. My brother was getting bullied in the ends. They can't do that in the chair. Not now, baby. I had to toughen them up. And I had to turn into a little bad gal. You get me? If I was out there to be fighting man for my brother because he just weren't built that way. A chair. Funny story. One of the guys who used to give my brother absolute hell, yeah, I started doing a job. This is years later now, so this is like 25 years later or something. And I'm working. I'm in one of the prisons, yeah, because I was working in the prisons. It's the youth version of Belmarsh. I don't want to say it because it's a bit sensitive on TikTok. But anyway, I've gone onto the wing, yeah, and I'm just like working with the young people as I usually do. Right in front of me is this brother, you know. But guys, it was so sad. He's on food. He's on hard food now. And I could have been gloating, but I was in the church cult in it. So I was like, oh, what's up? Like, you know, I tried to act like everything was okay. But anyway, I can't say on TikTok it's too sensitive. And we're recording on YouTube. But when we meet at the next Survivor link up, I'll tell you what really went down. Because I can't say it online. It would implicate myself. That's what I'm saying, man. The man then put respect on my name. And then you little gal want to come in here and think you got some chat for me. Like, absolutely not. Shakira says it's a pyramid scheme. Yes, my love. Absolutely. So then we've got some of these church cults use militarized language, soldiers of Christ, God's army. So do you see that this is similar to that very like army-like vibe that they have with high control groups in the forms of gangs? And also this is also feeding into the hyper masculinity where it's like the man's man and we're like soldiers and general and army, yes sir. And also these men get validation from being respected. Demonology and spiritual warfare to instill fear and dependency, gendered shame, telling men their failures are because they are not submitted to God. So again, what does that do to a man's pride and ego? And also they do like humiliation rituals and publicly shame the men. Remember I told you we have that cult ritual where we have Titus and Crete every year where they quiz us on Dag's books, all of the knowledge around Dag and the scriptures in concordance with his word, with Dag Yudmil's books, all right? And in context to Dag Yudmil's books. So it's so narcissistic, it's such a cultish practice, and they never let us record, so I don't have recorded evidence, but I do have the emails of them sending us what our dress were, because we used to have to wear suits, black suits, shirt, girls with white shirt. So I'm going to do some content on that as well. So they will literally shame the men. Like I've seen grown men cry and their wives have been sitting next to them. Shameful, embarrassing. That's what they do. Like, how are you supposed to feel like you can look at that man and let him blow your back out? And then they wonder why there's erectile dysfunction. Okay, this is a survivor that's talking now. Thank you for speaking your truth, Eco Fortunes. Eco Fortunes, I'm going to be coming to you soon because I'm going to be setting up a little working group with the OGs because that was the worst type of ABUS Eton Lighthouse, yeah? My ex and I used to babysit pastors' children till late. Same old story. This includes shopping, cooking, especially when they went away for conferences. Oh, including school runs, all for free. I'm going to take a photo of this. We're used as slaves. Did you hear what this woman just said? School runs, all for free. I've heard of some members going to the house and cleaning the yard, Eco, and cutting the grass and everything like that. Apparently in NGRM, there's a church member, I forget her name, that goes there and cleans and cooks for CC. Apparently CC's food's bland though. That's what word on these NGRM church cult streets are, that the food's bland. Because CC used to cook her bland food and then get it, like sell it in the church cult, and it was by force. The survivors told me that they felt that they were coercively controlled to eat the bland food with no flavor. I believe one of the survivors said it's okay, but nothing to write home about. Nothing. There's no flavor. There was no taste. Just bland. And you lot have seen my cooking. And Jay, the survivor, she's had my cooking. People that have come to the survivor link, I've cooked there. We've tasted my cooking. Y'all have tasted my mama's cooking. How about that? We all know Wagwan inside of me. So I'm a Caribbean, babes. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I've also been brought into the Nigerian and Ghanaian. Listen, Nigerian food, chef's kiss. Ghanaian food, chef's kiss. Listen, Ghanaians with their noodles and their their chow mains. Oh God, let me chop. Gosh, all the buff, the peanut soup. Oh my God, the soups. Oh, so let me tell you something, babe. My cooking is not, it's not even like, listen, babes, because I have incorporated the Niger and the Ghanaian. So my food is on another level, baby. Don't ever get it twisted. Listen, babe, when I do my ayamashe and I do my egusi, I'm also putting in my all-purpose. I'm also putting in my Caribbean seasonings, babe. When I'm doing my stew, my stew, yeah, I'm seasoning up the chicken like we do as Caribbeans from the night before. I'm grilling it up and then I'm frying it, chair, before I add that to the stew. Don't play with me, babe. I'm using Caribbean ways of cooking and mixing it with the African food. Like people, anyone who tastes my food, they're licking their fingers off the baby and having takeaway. Don't ever get it twisted, chair. And when I cook soups, I mix the Caribbean with the Ghanaian method of doing up soups, because you can't touch a Ghanaian soup. Yes, girl, Laura, we can do it up, man. Come dine with me, innit? Don't play with me. And that's on period point blank. So, Cece, if you need some tips, girl, it's because I've taught women how to season chicken in the church cult. How about that? So please, let's not do that, babe. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Because when it comes to the tastiest food in the world, you know that's Caribbean food. Any day of the week, any time of the day, you're eating Caribbean food. Please, let's not go there. Anywhere. Because that's one argument. That's why we stay out of it, out of the jollof situation. We stay out of it. We just got rice and peas, finger licking. You get me? Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Look, I'm going to make you lot beef, just like the pastors. I'm doing triangulation. Look, I'm not going to talk about your jollof rice. I'm going to talk about my rice and peas, because I'm not going to get into this triangulation. What is better? Argue among yourself. And that's how they do it. That's how they do it. That's how they do it. That's why we've got this beef amongst ourselves about jollof and rice and peas and our music. When we all came from the same place. Was it even called Africa back then? It was just all one place we came from, Chair. Hey, sis, Tony Lee, I want to let you know that Courtney Clark came on my live this morning and was hurling abuse. Yeah, so I've got the screenshots, little idiot. I'm going to phone you after you and mum and do a freeway. She came on my live and I screenshotted it. But Faith, the G that she is, the real one that she is, one-handed every day, sitting on business, said, I've got a screenshot too, Queen. So she's got the screenshot. Yeah. After doing up what she was. You see what I'm talking about, Tony? You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? You see it there? Evil and wicked hearts. I knew I was going to draw her out. I knew we were going to start seeing. I was talking about being Africa. She comes in doing up something about Africa. But I'm not surprised, because them don't have no identity. She doesn't know who she is. All right. So, but I'm still going to listen and heed to your advice. And I'm not saying nothing no more. Do you understand what I'm saying? But see what I mean? She's just drawn me out. Do you get it? So now I'm gonna put her little screenshot with her dance, with her singing again, because she can't sing. Tony Lee, can you do that thing that I asked you to do for me, girl? On Instagram, if you look back on our, yes, we have the screenshots. Yes, we have the screenshots. Me and Faith, we have the screenshots, because you know the collective, we don't play. I messaged you something on Instagram, but I think you missed it, babe. Everybody, that's my beautiful sister that gave me my niece, my gift of life. Hi, Royalty, welcome. Guys, I've got so many points. Do you think I should come back and finish it? Oh my God. Guys, should I just finish it quickly? Maybe I should just finish it quickly, innit? All right, let me just finish it quickly, but I'm hot. I'm hot in this. Oh my God, why did they have to colonize us, man, to wear clothes, yeah? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm so uncomfortable in clothes. All right, so we've got the this. Okay, so all of this, the radicalization, the tactics that they're doing up, it all creates a toxic masculine spirituality, that mimics gang indoctrination, but in a holy setting. Thanks for the follow, Samsung. Yeah, because it's true. Because they think we're a bag of idiots. Like, baby, we weren't going to know you know what on a Sunday. We weren't sitting in the pews. We weren't wearing suits. Our hair was not short. Us women, we wear nothing on the top and then little straw skirts. That's what I'm on. That's what I want. That's how I want to move. That's how I want to roll. I want to be in nature with nothing on. I want to be free. I want to be like my ancestors. What do you mean, babes? I find this uncomfortable. It's in my epigenetics. It's in my blood. Oh, it's been revamped. Anyway, that video of her like a mess. I've got another one. You see, the Lord is good. Because I was listening to that DJ Academic, so there were two mixed race girls on there that couldn't sing to save their life. And it just came up on my FYP, and I was like, oh my God, this is giving Courtney. This is giving Courtney Clark, talentless and trashy. So I quickly screen recorded it. So I'm going to do a little bit of content after this because I was going to leave it. But now she's come on there. She's retaliated. Now she's given me something to retaliate. So I'm going to do that and then, like blend it into her video of her singing in front of that car with her poppy long stocking socks and the shirt with the trainer. It looks like a trainer corset. Even like babe, if you're going to be doing layering, if you're going to be, okay, let me teach you some fashion. If you're going to be doing up layering and you're going to be putting a corset, because I was actually styled by Tony Lipsy. When I was on X Factor and we came out of, we were still on the show, I was actually styled by Lipsy, and we went into a private styling situation that they were doing up. And one of the things that they were doing up was specially made corsets for us. So I've got knowledge on this, Courtney. So what I'm going to say to you is when you're doing layers with corsets, my love, you have to do up tailored shirts. You have to do up tailored shirts. So an alternative for you would have been TM Lewin or Hawes and Curtis, if you know what those shops are. You needed to get a shirt from there tailored, because then what happens is it ruffles and we start to see puffing and bagging. Do you understand what I'm saying? Falling over the corset. Also, don't use a waist trainer corset. All right, my love, you have to go and get an actual corset. All right, so that it doesn't look crazy. Yeah, I was on X Factor in 2007, my love, in a girl band called Hope. And that's why it's a bit techie, because when the timeline's crazy. It was like my boyfriend unalived in January, and then it was like but when I think I'm getting my times wrong, I'm sure I started in 2006. I don't know when I started. Do you know what, guys? I think Jason unalived in 06. Was it 06? I don't even know, guys, the trauma. And then I got booted off the X Factor, but we made it to the final 5. Thank you for the follow, She Nice. Oh, is it Char Nice? And then so they were indoctrinating me at the same time, because it goes through the blind auditions, boot camp, so we're not on the telly. So for all that time I was going to the church and traveling and doing up whatever in the X Factor. And then I got on the live shows, and obviously like no indoctrination was going to make me say no to that at that time. Yeah, I wasn't indoctrinated enough. And when I came out, that's when they started coming in like full blown, because I wasn't on the show anymore, because I was living in the house with the rest of the stars. So that's why I don't understand why these little girls are coming and having such. Do you know who I am outside in these streets, babe? I would have made it if it worked for the cult. I would have made it. I would have been at Alicia Dixon level. I would have definitely been at Alicia. I'm not trying to beg it. I'm not trying to be Delulu, act like I would have been at Beyonce level, but I would have at least been at Alicia Dixon level. I know that. I would have been like the Mystique, yeah, like having my own performing art school, like like have a 6-figure fortune, like being a nice. That's what I would have had, and they stole that from me. Yeah, I've lived many lives, my love, many rebirths, mystically Miura, many rebirths, including the one that I'm going through right now. And that's why spirituality saved me, like looking at things from a different concept. Like endings are not, bad. Endings are, it's about growth, new beginnings, changing. Like, what I felt like, I feel like spirituality is done for me. Seeing the glass as half full, then half empty. I feel like religion makes you see it half empty. I feel like spirituality makes you see it like half full. You get me? All right, let's get into it. Why poor black neighborhoods? When you go to South London, you'll see one of these wacky church cults. Like they're like sweet shops. They're like news agents. They're like corner shops on the end of every road corner. All right. This is because they're easier to control, more disconnected from traditional watchdogs, often have no access to therapy, advocacy, or education on spiritual abuse. Now, when we look at these disenfranchised communities that are, they're deprived localities, what we see is that there's even inequality when it comes to like education, because a lot of these young people that are living in poverty, they may not have access to the internet as much, or they may not have access to a laptop. And this is real life. I know of a young person that used to have to write out their work because their mum couldn't afford to buy them a laptop. Do you know what I mean? So there's that inequity. Do you understand what I'm saying? That we face when we come from these deprived neighborhoods. So when they go and they're around all these doctors and these professions, they never been around like me. I said, I'd only known mainly like trappers and, because they make you forget things as well. So it was almost like I wasn't in the X Factor, and my brother's dad was a rock star. So it's like I forget that I used to travel and see him at concerts with my mum. And it's like all of these things get erased, and it just becomes all of the bad things. They make you focus on the negative, the fair, how evil you are, sinner, safe from great. So it's like all of the positive things and the good things about yourself, it's almost like it doesn't exist in your psyche. And it's just the negative. It's because they have to use that. It's through fear-based programming, full of trauma survivors, refugees, or ex-offenders who are prime targets for spiritual manipulation. I also want to add there comorbidities, disability, etc., because some of these disabilities, so for example, I know of a girl that I don't chat to no more. Her sister had her nephew on the steps on Peckham Library because she was so intoxicated. Her sister is an addict, so it was so bad that she gave birth naked in front of everybody by Peckham Library in the open public space. She got a call that was what was going on. So that child has come out with I can't remember it's something fecal alcohol. Is it alcohol fecal syndrome? So because she was drinking the whole way through, and because I spoke about this in my dissertation, and taking narcotics. So there are some disabilities. Yeah, okay, thank you, Tony Lee. There are some disabilities that stem through the trauma, the addiction of the parents, just the trauma of growing up and being in the hood chair. So I didn't want to make it look like I'm saying all people with disabilities are important, because disability knows no color, no class, no social construct. But I want to talk about how some of these disabilities, these impairments, do stem from the trauma, the inequity, and the deprivation, the environment. We become a product of our environment, okay? And this is why when you're from the hood, you can't be comparing yourself to other people that have come from 2.0 families that lived in their rich house in freaking Cambridgeshire or Buckinghamshire. We've done the best for the cards that were dealt, and resilient and educated ourselves and showing up for ourselves every day. That is enough, because our fate, some people are on narcotics, some people are walking around lost their damn mind. You become a product of your environment. So we have to have a little bit more grace for ourselves, guys. We need to be a bit more kinder to ourselves, because it's like you can't compare yourself with someone who's got like a head start, that's already got say like you're in a race, they've got a 10-minute start, and then you come afterwards, and then you'll be sitting there and comparing yourself. No. And that's what these church cult environments can do, and push people to their limits, because they just can't have what that person had, because they just didn't have that start. But they'll be making you feel lesser than. When you express yourself, you're authentically, scientifically breaks the nervous system. And that's what unalives us, Miura, because it's like we don't get to show our true authentic self. It's suppressed and oppressed. So it's like all in our mind, it becomes like that, and we just give up. I feel like the brain just gives up, and it's not using any of the critical, glands or whatever it is in their chair. It changes the whole functioning of our brain. It rewires it. Do you know what my dream is? To really make it like as a cult expert, and get into like some money where I can carry out like my own independent research. And then I would love to carry out some research, like get brain scans and compare them, with survivors and things like that, like do a really great piece that will be a legacy for survivors, and really be able to help survivors to deconstruct and deprogram. I hope all my books will do that, because it's not just going to be one. I'm going to write a few books. And also, thank you. Amen, my love. I'm currently writing a book as well at the moment. I'm almost done with the themes, like the skeletons. Now I've got to research and put all the information in and all of that. So I've given myself a target. I mean, by November, December, it needs to be done. Welcome, Instagram. Welcome. As I have said it, so it will be. I ended up with fibromyalgia because of abuse I went through. Yeah, Susan, do you know what? Is that Susan? Suzanne, do you know what? There's a survivor that's got endometriosis, and it's one of the worst cases that they've seen in this country. She has to take about 24 tablets just to function, to wake up, to go toilet, to go to sleep. She's given me consent to share this, and she's going to be doing like a voiceover that she's got, which I think is going to help. You know, trauma gets stored and trapped in the body because the body keeps the score. So trauma is it just manifests into sickness, diseases, cancers, illnesses. You think Harris will ever claim steps again? I don't know, but I don't think so. They might do though, because David's a beg and they're losing a lot of members. So I think they want to keep every member that they can possibly get. All right. So lack of regulations in the UK religious spaces is another reason why they're thriving. And it's a tax haven. It's a cash cow. The UK is a cash cow. So that's why we need to get the laws changed around that, not coercive control. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all these pastors do is abscond. When they start to get, like, they transfer them, they move them out of the country, chair. Marie said they'll defo keep him because of the clout. They'll move them out of the country. We need to make it more difficult for them to make money, because it's about money, power, ego, control. That's what it's about. That's what the malignant narcissist wants, is money and fame, power, control, the legions, the territory. When they can't operate like that, that's when they're going to stop coming here. They're going to stop coming here like that. This is our city. We need to get them out. Unlike schools, clinics, or youth programs, churches, and I've got enough life experience and academic experience to explain why these environments are just like youth clubs. Because I did a youth and community work, degree in it, and I'm a specialist in it. Do you know what I mean? I could open a youth centre tomorrow with my qualifications. Are you all right? God, you see, God, his ways are higher. His thoughts higher. You cannot mock God. God is almighty and great. The God of this whole universe that created. Look at space. Look at the trees. When I just look at the trees, the leaves blowing in the wind, the magnificence of God. When I hear the thunder, I feel the wind, I see the lightning. I'm like, chair. If God just wanted to finish us like that, just with the blink of an eye, even when he coughs, the universe, it all trembles. That greatness, they haven't even started to understand the greatness and the magnificence of God. I don't fear no man, bruv. You think I'm scared? I'm not scared. I don't feel no man, because even if anything happened to me, I'm going to be with my Lord and say, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It was definitely strange when Karis got a hold of him, made him cut off his dreads, took his creativity. They wanted to turn him into religious psychosis, just like the RPF man them. Ooh. Yeah, Steps is gone, chair. But unfortunately, he's cancelled. And do you see how dangerous this is? Steps is cancelled in the world, but he's going to go on to be a pastor. What else is he going to do? What else is he going to do? Go and get a 9 to 5, be working in Mackie D's? What's he going to do? This is why I'm saying, this is why we have, like, do you remember I said to you, these washed up people, like, they're in the cult, like, so he's not in there now for choice, because as it went on, he might have decided, oh, I'm not really feeling this, I want to be more into my worldly stuff, but do you see, he hasn't got a choice now, because he's been cancelled, so he's been gone in there by force. You're right, cult churches exploit your need to feel worthy through productivity and earning. Yes, you're absolutely right, my love. And also, then they take the projection and the HAT and those exasperated hyper-religious ideologies into the preaching. Because you could imagine this guy becomes, you know what now, he's going to be a lot of HATE towards the world, because it's like the world and their views and their comment, whatever, is his downfall. And he's also going to have a problem with beautiful girls who are independent, who speak up, like myself. So anything that reminds me of myself, that's also going to exasperate him, because I've been putting the information out there. Cut off the locks. Yeah. That's why I'm going to do a deep dive into it. Oh, thank you, Lita. She gave me a little Minnie Mouse thing. That's why I'm going to do a deep dive in. And anyone that has any information, any content, you might have come across some of his content that might be useful to me in my deep dive or whatever. There was a particular video that I was trying to talk about where he said his testimony, where he had mental health or something, but I can't find it. He'll find himself a little Courtney Clark, I guess. Maybe him and Courtney should get together. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that they're a good match. I think him and Courtney should get together, because I didn't realize Steps was so old. He's 25 or whatever. Thank you, Miora. Yeah, man. If you guys like Black history in the comments and want to know the roots of African spirituality, study the Haitian Revolution and Maroon Revolution in Jamaica. There was a lot of resistance. Off Dara, I don't know how to pronounce. Can you send me a message, please, with exactly? Oh, let me just screenshot it. So, some key things that a survivor has told us to look at, guys. So the roots of African spirituality. So they're telling us to start with the Haitian Revolution, the Maroon Revolution in Jamaica. And that is another difference, that because we don't play. Do you understand? Like, look, the Maroon Revolution and the Haitian Revolution, we don't play. Like Jamaica, like we don't play. That's why I said we're different. We're different to our brothers and sisters from the homeland. We're different. We got a lot of sauce. Do you know what I mean? We weren't having their takeover and their infiltration. We weren't having a bar of it. Then later on, you lot started migrating to the Caribbean. Do you get it? So, do you know what? I think I'm going to do it, guys. If I've got the strength, I'll do that later, just like this with ChatGPT, and get a couple of pictures to put behind. So you guys, because they've demonized our spirituality, and I want to start, bringing this back, man. So we can see it as it's not evil. They've lied. All right. So unlike schools, clinics, or youth programs, churches in the UK have almost no oversight, can register as charities and receive tax breaks, are rarely investigated for ABUSE unless a crime has already occurred. This allows cult-like pastors to operate under the radar in plain daylight, even as they groom and exploit hundreds of vulnerable people. Yes, and that's the way I described it. Just seen the title of your stream. What do you mean by church cults? And these are cults, high control groups that are disguised as churches. So a lot of them will be like saying this mega church rhetoric, dominion, winning souls, saving souls, winning the lost at any cost, territory taken over. Those are what I call church cults. They're high control environments. There's a lot of pressure. You have to give inordinate amounts of your time. If you're interested in Rastafarianism, Rastafarian culture, East African spirituality would also appeal to you. Yes, and Orthodox. That's where I think a lot of people are going to now. This Ethiopian Orthodox, but it's just all as corrupt. Do you know what I mean? Like, our people are lost, man. There's been a real miseducation. All right, colonial spiritual trauma, colonial spiritual trauma and identity fragmentation. For many Black people in the diaspora, there's a deep disconnection from ancestral roots. Look at what we were just talking about. This is like the Holy Spirit moving, man. It's all joined. Purity, identity, and power due to colonization and false Christianity. That's why we're all wearing wigs in there. European, the gal them are trying to look like whitey, middle class, conservative, fundamentalist, evangelical, whitey, American gal them. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying. That's the aesthetic. I just realized that Pleasant Surprises are the underdog of First Love, and Caris is the underdogs of no. Oh well, actually, I can see. Maybe I can see what you're saying, but we were the originals. He put us in triangulation, babe. So First Love are actually they're the fruit of our ministry, like what we were doing, like the evangelizing, getting all of the young people in. So, I mean, the denomination is a new denomination, but he sent a lot of the pastors that are heading up that denomination are original Lighthouse Chapel International OGs like myself. They are the pastors now of Pleasant Surprises and First Love and Mustard Seed and all those other denominations. I would have been out starting a church for them, and it would have been so powerful. And I'm so glad that the Lord took me out. The Lord doesn't want them to thrive. That's why he's taken all of the lights, all of the most powerful people with that were the most anointed with the greatest gifts to be able to recruit and bring in people. Because I could bring in people just from my voice. Why should I feel discouraged? But the Maverick guy said that riffs are unalive. Nobody wants to hear that. Sell out. All right. For many Black people in the diaspora, there's a deep disconnection from ancestral roots, identity, and power due to colonization and false Christianity. As we know, they didn't let us read, but they let us read the canon Bible. So that in yourself should know, guys, that should tell you that something's up. It was manipulatively put together. I've done some content on my main page, Leo Lord the Seven, where I break down just very small from a live, the manipulation of King James and why he put that Bible together. It was about power, control, and maintaining the state. I will be doing some content on that later, so you gonna see that come out and whatever. Thanks, Lily. These pastors exploit this trauma by claiming God sent them to restore order to a broken people. Oh, it is okay. They brought us Jesus. Even because slavery, we got Jesus. Oh, the psychology behind this and the witchcraft is on another level, chair. It's on another level, Charlie. That's why this type of witchcraft couldn't beat. It couldn't take over the Haitians and the Maroons. Do you understand? Because it's all a craft. You get it? But they're doing it for dark. The Europeans are doing it for dark. And the Haitians and the Maroons, they were just doing it amongst their people as camaraderie, as community, to have the same collective consciousness, to make things better, to heal. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was more like that. But how the pagans came, like with that occult, the psychology, but they were able to see through it because of their craft and their spiritual gifts, their spirituality, and their collective consciousness that was stronger than what they were trying to do up. Does that make sense, guys? Framing African spirituality as demonic, offering false belonging through aversion. I just can't stand when a black person tells me that that black spiritualism is demonic. It's like I just disassociate. Like I don't even want to be around you, because it's just like, how lost are you? Like, you're calling your own ancestors demonic. Like, it's just. But you won't call the pastors that are graping and essaying the gal them in there. You won't call the pastors that are stripping you from all authenticity from yourself, your cultural spirituality, your ancestors, everything. But share. I sent you his testimony on Instagram, babe. Ooh, all right, babe. Oh, as he says, honestly, Leah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to see how brainwashed we've become, Chair. They're all cults. They're all high control groups, unfortunately, Guardian. It all stems in the false narrative that they constructed to put the canon Bible together, which is a patriarchal, misogynistic view. King James was actually LGBTQ+. He had a husband of the courtier. The whole reason why he did up the King James version, my love, was to keep peace between the Protestants and the Catholics, because I see you've been doing up Roman Catholicism and I'm not the one, baby. So you're going to have to take that somewhere else, yeah? Because what you said, what I've just said, just quickly invalidates everything. And you might want to go and look up the Nicaea, the Creed of Nicaea. You might want to go and look that up as well for further corruption and indoctrination within the social construct, system, and institution that is the religious institutions that we see today. All right? Okay. Also, you might want to go and look up the Pope's funeral, because I was seeing a lot of satanic rituals and practices that were going on. All right? Okay. So, offering false belonging through a version of God that requires obedience, suppression, and suffering. So what does this mean for survivors? So you see the oppression and the suffering. Again, through the letter of King Leopold, it said, do not store up your treasures here on earth, store them in heaven. So the fake mogs that are trying to do up YT, supremacy, lave master mindsets are storing all their treasures here on earth. David and Dag's kids, they don't have to work. They've created a legacy for their children's children. They are millionaires. They are getting 6 to 7 figures. They're getting so much money, whilst you are giving them all your money and building your treasures here in heaven. Your head is in the clouds. You don't even know if heaven's a thing. You don't know whether it's a conscious mindset, because Christ spoke a lot about the kingdom of heaven being within a state of mind. You don't even know. But here you are, store your treasures. Where are the treasures? Invisible blessings. They're selling you invisible blessings and getting you to believe in your psyche that it's a thing. And they're all wearing their rollies, their expensive cars, wearing their $3,000 suits. All of their kids are, wined and dined, wearing the best. None of Dag's kids. Dag's had 4 kids. 4 kids. They haven't worked a job a day in their life, apart from is it Daniela, the one that's a dentist? I think she done dentist medicine or whatever. Oh yeah, and David, the one who unalived himself allegedly, because he was a doctor in America, but he didn't F with his dad or the ministry. He was never around, chair. Anyway, let's get into it. What this means for survivors and activists, you're uncovering a form of spiritual colonialism in Black skin, and it's vital that survivors speak out, because silence is compliant. Document abuses, create safe, decolonized spiritual spaces. You're welcome. But we need to create more. We need to have more like people raising up and speaking, man. Support each other in healing from religious trauma, but we need more. Kyrie's copied a lot of tactics from First Love. Yeah, there are bottom bees. There are cousins. They tell us to store up our treasures in heaven so Dad can take our treasures on earth. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're just thieves. There is a rising movement of Black evangelicals, church cult survivors, and decolonized spiritual leaders reclaiming power, voice, and liberation. And you are a part of it. Woo! How empowering was that? Come on, guys. I've loved this live. Let's all give ourselves a clap, because this has been a heavy one, guys. We've done 2 hours. And on that note, I am going to go. I usually would take questions, guys, but I've been on TikTok for a long time. Unless you feel like, if you really want to ask me some questions, come on YouTube. It's Leah Lord the 77. I'm on there now. I'll stay on there for 5 more minutes, but I've got to come off TikTok just in case I got tutorials. I love you guys. I may be back later. If I'm back later, I will do up the Haitian, the Maroon stuff, and I'll go into a little bit of the demonology, how they've demonized our African culture. I love you too, baby. I love you, baby. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Love you. I'm gonna come off TikTok. I love you. And Alita, happy birthday, my love. Love you, queen. Love you. I'll see you soon. Because we need to come off. Okay, no, oh gosh, no tutorials, yeah. No tutorials, yeah. No tutorials. No tutorials. No tutorials. No tutorials. All right, guys, I'm gonna head off. Thank you so much for being on the live. I was going to stay, but I'm absolutely boiling. So I love you, YouTube. I'll see you later. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the live. Make sure you subscribe to Infinity and Beyond. All right, Instagram.